Hello everybody, my name's Erica and welcome to my channel, Ginger Books. And if you're returning, welcome back. For people that have been following me for a while, this is kind of towards them. I apologize. I have been MIA for about a month now. It wasn't intentional. I'm going to give you the shortened version and I will give you the longer version in my next week's vlog. What happened was my computer was making a funny noise when I was trying to play a game that kind of works your computer. And if y'all want to know, Red Dead Redemption 2. We found out I had a junk power supply, meaning it had bad components. We ended up ordering a case and a power supply, and then we decided, let's just redo the whole computer. It took a week for most of the parts to get here, and I say most because there was one part in particular that took 2.5 weeks to get here. Almost 3 weeks. So that is why I have not been making the content, or I just haven't been here. So I do apologize for that, but now we are back because she is built and she is brand new, and I will show you more in depth of the computer in next week's vlog. And we're here because your girl, because she was depressed and she did not have a computer, bought a whole bunch of books. Before we get started, I wanted to tell you guys that I can read the back of these, but this video is going to be extremely long if I read every back and every synopsis and what I feel going into these books. So what we're pretty much going to do is, I don't want to know anything really going into these books. I obviously read the backs a little bit, but that's pretty much it. Some of these are historical fiction, some of these are, you're gonna probably go, oh my god, are these gonna be in like future vlogs? Possibly. And then some of them are from book subscription boxes. So I'm just gonna say like my first kind of like what drew me to it, and then just continue on. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first kind of like series of books I'm going to show you came from Target because your girl cannot stay away from Target. It's bad. Only Woman in the Room by Mary Benedict, I believe. The sticker's hiding it. Yeah, Benedict. So I picked this up because this is supposed to be kind of World War II, but also crosses with Hollywood. So I was just like, I have to have it. I love anything World War II culture, so that's the reason why I picked this book up. The next one is Lisa Scotland and Someone Knows. I love, ever since I read this Platform 7, I have been loving these kind of like psychological thrillers, these mysteries, and it's kind of gotten my love back into the adult kind of type mysteries. So this one is supposed to be kind of with a main character named Allie Garvey, and pretty much she gets caught up in this like dark secret of how a childhood friend died. So it almost kind of gives me a Pretty Little Liars vibe. And I was just like, I've never watched that show because I didn't really get the premise of it. This one is pretty much where somebody actually knows what happened between these 5 friends and how this person kind of like died. So I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot. And obviously you definitely know I got it from Target. This next one is kind of following again the World War II theme, and it's Hannah's Wars by Jane Elizabeth. This one, oh, I didn't realize it had perforated edges. Oh my god, I love perforated edges. But this one pretty much is kind of like 2 stories. One sets in Berlin and one in New Mexico. One before the war, one pretty much at the end of the war. So it kind of fascinated me, and again, World War II is like kind of like my fascination of more 20th century history, even though most of what I love is ancient history and Victorian history. Next on the list, and this is from my second round of going to Target. Your girl has a problem. So this one, I've been meaning to pick it up, but I've just really been looking for the smaller version of these where it was like $6 or $7, but finally broke down and bought Stephen King's Pet Sematary. I don't know why this fascinates me, but I just saw Pet Sematary and I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. And it's about this guy pretty much that moves to this town in Maine, and there's a lot of roadkill, and so there's a pet cemetery because of it. Don't know much more about that. Stephen King. Hopefully I can get through you because I couldn't get through it for some reason. Then this next one I have seen, who have I seen rave about this? I think I've seen Clockwork Reader, Hannah, and I think Zoe from Zoe Reads rave about this book, and I was like, you know, I really love ancient history, so why don't I give it a shot? So I picked up Amanda Land Miller's Circe. I don't know much into it other than it's pretty much a tale centered around Circe, the goddess. So that's all I know. Then the last on my Target excursions is Ruth Ware, The Turn of the Key. I actually have some of Ruth Ware's books, but I believe it was Books and Lala raved about this book. She really liked it. She was on the fence on it at first, but when she got more into it, she actually ended up really loving it. And again, getting more into psychological thrillers, and to be honest, it's thanks to Books and Lala. So this next splurge was because I did not know there was more to this series. And you will know this series because I am trying to read it, and I've read it in I'm going to try to put it between 3rd and 5th grade. So, and that is the Little House books, and I did not know there was more to the Little House series. There is actually 2 prequel series, and there is a huge sequel series of like 8 books that follow Laura Ingalls Wilder's daughter, Rose Wilder Lane. The first one I'm going to show you is actually from the actual prequel trilogy to The Little House on the Prairie, or it's not a trilogy, it's 7 books. And that is The Little House, The Caroline Years, and it's the first one, The Little House in Brookfield. So this follows Laura Ingalls Wilder's mother as she grows up, first in Brookfield, and then the house in the big woods. I was just like, I need to have all of these. I don't know why. Like, my Too Much Gene was just like, you're gonna get all of these. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I'm like, my money. But I really loved this series, and all of you know, the only thing I have on a drawback is you can't get through the series, I'm finding out, like, a book in one day because there's so much detail. But I understand why she put so much detail, because a lot of people don't know the things that the pioneers had to do in order to cook a meal or to preserve meat or anything like that without detail. And it's like, I get it. But it's just so much detail. So that is the Caroline Years. Now the next one is the Rose Years, which I have pretty much, I don't have them all in order, but I pretty much went to Thrift Books, or Thrift Shop Books, I can't remember the exact name, I think it's Thrift Shop Books, and bought most of these. This one came, if it looks brand new, it came off of Amazon because they didn't have all of them, and some of them I could get them cheaper on Amazon, so, or no, this one did come from Thrift Books, I just had to buy it brand new. All of them in their shining glory except for one, and I think that one's coming today. And I also, on Thrift Shop, bought the Little House Guide, which is pretty much, it takes you all the way through the houses and the route that Laura Ingalls Wilder lived, and also, you know, the little towns that they live next to, all of the scenery you can go to, and I've only read up to The Little House on the Prairie, but it's a very good book for people who want to follow Laura Ingalls Wilder's path. So the next series of books came from Book Boxes. So from this month's Book Owl, I ended up getting in there 2 books. One is a graphic novel called, I think it's called Witchy, by Ariel Selmet Reese. I don't really know much. Again, it's just a kingdom of witches that's called Helen. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And so we're following a witch, and I think it's a girl in her path. So don't know much about it, and I can't wait. I don't know if I'll read this summer, but I might try to save this towards October and do a fun readathon kind of event, see what's going on in October for those. And then the next one, Dea Cordova Incendiary, I think that's what it's called. And I just think this cover is so beautiful and stunning. And I don't know much about it. Obviously, I read a little bit of this book cover, but I'm just excited, not just diving into it. This cover is just so beautiful. So beautiful. From Book of the Month, I wanted to get a little bit more diverse in my reading, and I wanted to dive in more into African American culture to better understand the struggle that African Americans here in America have gone through. As a historian, I know enough, but in reality, I've never walked in the shoes of an African American. And I want to understand their culture better, to better understand their fight that they're having right now, and to better stand with them. I may not understand, but I do stand with you. I didn't really want to say anything about this just because I was scared, but you know what? I'm not. I need to stop being scared because this is not about me. It's not about, you know, my anxiety of what could happen if I announce this, but I do stand with you. And that's why I started kind of picking my reading and trying to understand the African American culture here in America to better understand, because they are U.S. citizens, they are our people, and we should be protecting them. So after a little bit of that heaviness, So I'm getting into the first book, which is The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. This one is pretty much about twins, two identical twin sisters, and the treatment they both get differently, how one is viewed differently than the other. And one is black and one is white. They were born to a biracial couple. So pretty much you're going to see the treatment of how the African American sister is being treated differently from the white American sister. And I just kind of liked that duality a little bit, and I just really want to see how the author plays with that and kind of shows the differences of treatment. So that's why I really wanted to get this book, just to kind of hopefully understand better, maybe through a novel, a little bit, besides some of the historical nonfiction I've been reading. The next one is more, again, psychological thriller. I keep saying psychological thriller when there's like more to the thriller genre, like mystery, suspense, and that is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I was just intrigued by just the synopsis of a writer writing about pretty much their experience in a horror house. Her father does, and then she ends up inheriting this horror house. So, yeah, I was just like, I'm just gonna take that and gobble it up. How about that? And I'm hoping I'm not putting too much high expectations on this book, but I'm just excited. So, now this last book I have been really, really wanting, but I can never find. First of all, I have never wanted to spend the money for this book, just because some editions are really expensive and I don't know why. So I finally saw it and I made it my book of the month, and it's a modern classic, and it is The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson. And again, this is supposed to be about murder, magic, and madness at the fair that changed America. And this has pretty much like H.H. Holmes in it and murders that happened pretty much around the World's Fair of 1893. So this is supposed to have, one of the theories is that Jack the Ripper was actually H.H. Holmes. So you get to see H.H. Holmes in this, or Jack the Ripper, which after reading Carrie Maniscalco's series, I can believe Jack the Ripper is H.H. Holmes. I don't know why. And I started researching it more, and I kind of believe that the Jack the Ripper in London came over here and was H.H. Holmes and became the Jack the Ripper over here in America. So that is it for my book haul. This ended up kind of becoming a little bit of a long video, which is fine because I was hoping it wouldn't be too short. Moving forward, I'm trying to plan more fun things for this channel. I was definitely wanting to have more fun things this week, or this month. However, that got put on hold because dummy me thought, I was going to get my computer parts like I was supposed to and got rid of my computer. So that was one of the things why I haven't been posting in a while. But on my calendar, I'm hoping next week will be the children's vlog, so I'll be vlogging that this week and having it up next week. This week we finally get to start our new Bookish Sims LP, which is, House of Night series. I got it finished last week. I spent an afternoon doing that. I still might be tweaking. I also pre-downloaded builds because I just wanted to make sure that we could get uploaded on time. I know I said I wanted to get better at building. However, we're on a time crunch, and so I just decided to download them, even though I did change some of the interior to fit more of the who's living in that room's personality. It also inspired me to reread The House of Night, so I may be also rereading that throughout the vlog too. But anyways, thank you so much for understanding and coming along for this crazy ride of me just disappearing for weeks on end and then reappearing. So I do apologize for that, but thank you for sticking around. If you do like what you saw in this chaotic video, please hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you are notified when I do post. Make sure you do watch out. Sometimes some YouTube channels, the bell notification, you have to keep clicking it for some reason. I don't know what, and I noticed it was kind of doing it to me, so I just wanted to warn you guys. I do post every Tuesdays and Fridays, Tuesdays being the fun bookish content like this, with hauls and challenges and stuff, and on Fridays with the fun bookish Sims content, I'm maybe doing bookish Sims, but also maybe some other fun Sim videos too. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Well, without further ado, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great start to your week, and I will see you on Friday. Bye!